Hello. So now I will talk about interview. Which topic is addiction to smartphone. We found interviewee who is a college English professor named Deborah. I will introduce briefly question and answers. First question is, Oxford selected selfie as this year's word, which means self-portrait in SNS. How do you often upload your photo in SNS? And her answer was, she never uploaded her photo in SNS, and instead she sent her photos to her family directly. And our second question was, how frequently do you use your cell phone when you are working or in class or survey? And what do you do in most cases? She answered that she uses cell phone quite. For example, she's walking to meet her friends. She texts them how far they are from her. In addition, when she's driving and she's at a stoplight, she usually checks her cell phone. Third question is about nomophobia. This is deep question. And her answer was, nomophobia means a fear that when you don't have a smartphone. She answered that she's not nervous when she doesn't have smartphone. Rather than she is uncomfortable because each smartphone is like a body part that is attached to her body. And number 4 question is, nowadays indirect communication is increasing because of the smartphone. And direct communication, for example, face-to-face contact with each other is decreasing. And we asked, how do you think about it? And she answered that this is definitely the side effect of using cell phone. And more and more people text and call each other rather than have face-to-face contact. And last question was suggestion for reducing addiction to smartphone. She suggested that making a rule with friends, for example, not to check the phone when meeting each other. In addition, don't text in drive or don't text in walking. It was her answer. Yeah. Next.
Hi everyone. I'll tell you the actual condition about phone addiction in Korea. According to Ministry of Science survey, there are 1 in 5 adolescents are addicted in phone. They use their smartphone over 7 hours a day. And also the health of eye and backbone is being threatened by long time of using smartphone. There are also dangerous while using smartphone while driving. researchers report that while you use smartphone in driving, it is same as 0.1% blood alcohol content, which means you drink soju and beer mixed at Potanju, 5 glass of Potanju. It is very dangerous. How to reduce addictions? There are two ways of solution. One is improving awareness, and two is preventing by law. But preventing by law has a possibility of human rights abuse under constitutional law. So I think improving awareness is more effective. So I suggest that to improve awareness as a public advertisement under governmental support through pamphlet or through TV, radio, anyway. And there also are institute about phone addiction. National Counseling Center, like IRIS Center in Seoul, or you can visit mental clinic for phone addicts. And there are some applications that limit hour of using smartphone. And Sunju will tell you more.
We interview for smartphone addiction for our future and this conclusion. The cell phone addiction is very likely arising from a kind of cognitive behavior disorder like anxiety or insecurity, or also associative learning form, create associative memory, expect, and craving, it's like a desire, and for young adults to gain admission to peer groups, express opposition to adult authority, and make a development transition into young adulthood. It means that it makes some different understanding arising. So I don't recommend you talk to some question. Do you agree prohibit smartphone in school? Because in school, to make a good school environment, circumference and minimize to some extent of side effects of electronic device. You can include constricting electronic device used in school. So I don't nothing but it's have an effect of our children, our school child, something like that. And I finish.